facility
met,
for
Gardner
multiple
Minshew,
days getting
and
ready
our friend
for
Will
the
Blackman,
game between
buddy of
Washington
mine,
and
friend of the
Chicago.
show,
I got the
he
impression that Jay
for
Gruden is
Halloween,
determined
Gardner
not
Minshew
to
go
bench
as Uncle
Case
Rico,
Keenum,
and
that
Nick
it's
Foles
not going to
go
be
as
something where
Napoleon
Haskins
Dynamite. I think
plays
that was a
until Gruden
tremendous
is fired.
suggestion.
And I got the
That needs
distinct
to happen.
sense listening to Booger McFarland that Gruden's on the way out. It's just a question of when. And unless they turn it around, and I don't think they're going to, it's going to be Jay Gruden out the door either after the Thursday night game in Minnesota, which gives the replacement a week and a half to get ready, or their bye that comes up a couple of weeks after that. But again, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things. Maybe they would fire him after a Sunday heading into another Sunday. Either way, I feel like he's on the clear hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. You're right. I mean, it does seem that he's on a clear hot seat.
You can't bring yourself to do it because you know.
Well, I do,
but
that's I know a lot of people, and I say a lot of negative
Patrick
things about
Mahomes
them
setting all
the time.
kinds of records,
bring yourself
and then
to
somebody
do it.
compared it to
One,
Troy Aikman,
like
and Troy Aikman
him,
said,
and
call me when
two,
he's got
I don't want to
Super Bowl
bring
ring.
myself to
Man,
do it
Troy
because
hater,
I
bro.
don't think he's the main culprit or issue there. I think he's like issue number 74 with the things they got with the Redskins. I mean, it's not him. So that's why. It's a double whammy. If I
When you
really
got
thought
the rings,
he
you just
stunk
show
and
them.
he was the
All right.
issue, no matter
What are we
how
doing
much
here?
I like
We're going
him,
to talk
I
about
think I've
the
earned
game
the
between
right
the
now that you've
Lions
known me long enough
and
that I would say, you know what,
upstart
I like the
Detroit
guy, but
Lions.
damn, yeah,
This
he's in
is what I
trouble.
like to call
think
the
I've shown
litmus
you
test
guys
of this
fired
team.
in these
So
I
Patrick
just can't
Mahomes
give you a hard
here,
time. Who gets fired
how
in
are they going to
situations like
defend
these? No,
you're right.
Patrick Mahomes?
Even if the coach is
Detroit?
number 74,
We
he's
doing it
still
that
the
way?
one who
Detroit don't
goes.
stand a chance defending Patrick Mahomes.
I get you.
For me, the key to this
Especially when the
game-
team is
you wanna go the other way?
dysfunctional
Kansas
and is willing to
defense
throw
and the
out the guy
improvements
who
they've made
is one of the
on
reasons why they're not
defense.
even
Bringing in
worse
guys
than they
like Frank
are.
Clark,
That's what
Tyrann
dysfunctional
Mathieu.
teams do.
That's
It's
very
just the
true, too.
mentality
You're
of
right.
some of
They
those
do
guys. The
stupid
plays
crap
they've
like
been
that.
making, the
Okay,
leadership that they're
it's not a
passing
bad
down.
pick. I mean, it's
And
kind
look,
of like,
this is a
I
Chiefs
mean,
defense
gosh, you picked
who
the
was
same
not very
team
good
I
last year.
picked. That's
Gave
not
up a
cool.
lot of
Like, find
plays
your own.
You
in the
picked the wrong
passing game.
guy.
And what
You
do they
picked the
do?
wrong guy.
They're going to
No,
take
we're not
one of
talking about
the
Jay
worst
Gruden being fired
secondaries
this week, but
in
we
the
did
NFL
open
being
today's
the
show about
Redskins.
we
They
should
take
bench
two of their
Case
players
Keenum,
over
so
the
I
last
picked the
couple of
right
years.
guy.
Kendall
Yeah,
Fuller,
he ain't
Rashad
going
Breeland,
now.
and they're
here we
playing
go.
great football for
My
Kansas
next
City.
one,
And so
and I don't know where
maybe
the
it's
hell I
not the
wanna
players.
go
Maybe it's
here
the
with
coach.
this.
That's a shot at
Obviously.
Washington.
I think I'm going to go.
I always know when you're buying time.
Well,
I don't think you
I
have the
guys who are under pressure as many as I do
think you had
who's
to
on the
explain
hot
it.
seat. I
Maybe
don't
it is the
necessarily
coaching. They
love the
brought
hot
in
seat
defensive coordinator
conversation.
Steve
But I'm going to put
Spagnuolo.
somebody on the hot seat right here.
Had a more
Andy
aggressive
Dalton
scheme,
with the
whereas last
Cincinnati
year they were
Bengals,
kinda
all
just
right?
sitting back
It might
and
not
letting
be like
everybody
hot
else on the
seat.
other
He's
side of the
going to
ball
get benched
dictate what
right
they were
now
doing.
this week.
They're being
He's on the hot
aggressive.
seat
He's allowing those guys
never
to play
being
a
the
little
starting
bit faster.
quarterback for the
That's the key
Cincinnati
there.
Bengals.
To me, I was at this Lions-Eagles game last week. Really impressed with the way the Detroit Lions showed up there. We'll talk a little more about the Lions late in the show. But Darius Slay, you talk about they don't have a chance. If Darius Slay
he will not win
is
you
not on the
games,
field,
but he
they
will
definitely
lose
don't
them
have
for
a
you.
chance.
And
Big
that's an
play
issue for
Slay,
me
as
when
they like to
you're a
call him,
starting
is a guy that
quarterback
really can
in
defend the
football.
ball down
Because
the
at some
field,
point, a
and
starting
that's what
quarterback
Kansas City
needs
likes
to
to
win
do.
a few
So
games for
I
a
need to see
team.
Darius Slay out there. He's limited in
more
practice.
times than not,
Listed
even
as
in a great
questionable.
day like
I think he's got a
Seattle,
shot to be
they're
out
moving
there.
down the
Didn't look like it
field,
was a
and
bad
he throws the
hamstring
throw
injury by any stretch. They
the
just
ball
wanted to be
flies
careful
in the
with it the
air
other day.
with nobody
So,
around him. It gets
if he's out there,
intercepted.
they stand
It's
a
just
much better
stuff like
chance.
that,
absolutely.
boneheaded
They
interceptions
definitely
to where I
need
go.
him.
It might
Like
not
you
be
said, he
hot
hasn't
seat. He's
been
getting
out there,
benched right
and
now,
their defense
but
is
his seat
definitely
is getting
Yep,
hot.
no doubt about it. All right, now to
be the
Colleen
starting
and
quarterback
Mike
of the
Rob over on
Cincinnati
the other wall with
Bengals
more
when
on
the
the
season's
NFC.
over.
All right,
If
well,
the trend
look,
continues.
this could be the league's
Yeah,
best
this is the
division
clear upper out
right
year
now.
for
The
Andy Dalton in
NFC
Cincinnati, and I
North.
agree with you.
Detroit's
They're
on
0-3.
top
They've had a couple
after
of
the
games they could have
Packers
won, should have
lost
won,
to
but
the
they
Eagles,
didn't.
obviously, on Thursday night.
It
I know,
falls on
isn't that
him,
weird?
especially when
The
the
Vikings
new
and
coach is
Bears
trying to
both
assess whether or
keep
not
up
that's
and
the
prove
quarterback he
to
wants
three
available
and
there,
one.
too.
The
Look good in the
Rivals meet
preseason.
Sunday
Maybe they
at
do pull
Soldier
the
Field.
trigger and do that at some
Let's go
point
out
during
to
the
Tom
year.
Pelissero in
I'm going to
Eagan,
put Tom
Minnesota,
Coughlin on the
with
hot
keys
seat.
to the Vikings.
Because, number one, the Jaguars
only
have
week 4, but
woefully
Vikings
underachieved
players say
since
this is
getting to the AFC
absolutely a
Championship
pivotal
game
game
in
coming up on
2017.
Sunday at
They had a
Chicago.
stretch of
For the
3 and
Vikings
13
offense, tight end Kyle
from
Rudolph
week
told me that
3 of
Coach Mike Zimmer
2018
has
to
been
week 3 of
preaching this week.
2019. They
It's
got
going to
the
be
win
hard
last
to get
Thursday
Dalvin
night.
Cook in the
That's
running
fine.
game going
But this
against
fight that
Khalil
he's
Mack
in with
and a
Jalen
stout
Ramsey,
Bears
I think how
defense.
that
There's
gets
going to be
resolved
1-yard runs,
is going to
0-yard
be
runs,
as
-yard runs,
influential
Rudolph said.
on Coughlin's
It's all
long-term
about staying in
status
position
as the
to
question
keep
of
running
whether or
the
not the
football.
team is
Get
good
those
enough.
attempts,
And if at
which
some
means
point,
not falling behind the chains
this ends
or on
up
the
dying
scoreboard.
down
For the Vikings
now,
defense, linebacker Eric Kendricks told me this is a gimmick offense that Chicago runs. You get a lot of motions, a lot of shifts. No matter who is on the field, you got to cancel all that out and focus on the big picture. They will have Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr back in action. Vikings practice this week with crowd noise.
Sorry, but I'm
silent
choosing
count,
Ramsey.
anticipating a raucous atmosphere at Soldier Field.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tom. This game is such a hard one to pick between these two teams. And we just heard Tom talking about Dalvin Cook in the beginning of his segment there. But, Mike Robb, do you think that he will have success against this Bears defense? We just watched what they were able to do against the Redskins on Monday.
And I think the way they kind of handled the Redskins situation blew up in their face and all of that as well.
But if the Minnesota Vikings want to win, they have to lean on Dalvin Cook. He's the NFL's leading rusher, 375 yards, all those things. But he just has lanes that are like as big as this monitor to run through. This offensive line
executive VP of football operations
look at how they get to the second level. Look at the apex of the push.
Game day. That's for the coach to deal with. If the coach is upset
is leading this group, and just look at the lanes that the running backs have to run through. It's very easy to play running back of the Minnesota Vikings right now.
Look at the job. He was going to undermine Doug Marrone by acting like the coach. And he's acting like the coach when he
to the second level.
I mean, if you're a player, think about it. How many bosses do I have? I have two. My position coach and my head coach and the coordinators in there as well.
He is the NFL's
I don't want to worry about these other people swooping in and giving me a hard time.
Right?
The coach is my ultimate authority. And anyone above that in the organization, I shouldn't have to worry about. I shouldn't have to worry about the GM giving me a hard time. I shouldn't have to worry about the executive VP of football operations giving me a hard time. And I think he crossed the line there by even having the conversation.
Off the screen, and now we're finally seeing that put together.
He's created a situation where Ramsey wants out. And at the end of the year,
every time he gets the football, it seems like he's the fastest and most explosive guy on the football field. We got a couple numbers for you. Dalvin Cook versus stacked boxes, 15 rushes, 132 yards, stacked boxes, 8 or 9 men around the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
The football operations guy can talk to a player, but you don't need to. It sounds like he really laid down the law.
Every single time he gets the ball, and the defensive coordinator's putting extra guys there to stop him.
You're better than that.
That's demoralizing for a defense. So if the Minnesota Vikings can just lean on Dalvin Cook and use Kirk Cousins whenever they need to, don't make him the show of this offense.
Because like the Eagles receivers are on the hot seat, they can't catch them.
Well, that's exactly what they need to do, because when you watch Kirk Cousins, especially against the Bears, just look at the games last year. It seems like he's playing scared against Khalil Mack. He is running away from him.
Marcus Mariota, I know they're 1-2 and they won that first game against the Cleveland Browns.
Is that for
real? The defense won that first game. I mean, he threw a 75-yard screen pass. He threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and Derrick Henry ran straight. Okay, there's no struggles there. Whether it's the Week 2 loss against the Indianapolis Colts or last week, like you saw against the Jacksonville Jaguars, there was nothing in the competitive nature of the football game. That's what I look at. His stats are all like we saw last week. Fourth quarter, end of the third quarter, the game's kind of over, the competitive nature of the game's over, and there he does it. And he's on the hot seat, a verge of losing his job, I think, for a tandem and maybe not being a starting quarterback until he earns that right again as well.
We'll see. This game obviously is
all right, my last one, because we got to go. And this one is fairly obvious, and I think that John Elway has benefited from the fact that the ownership situation is unsettled. There are trustees that are running the team. They have yet to appoint Brittany Boland to take over controlling interest in the Broncos organization. But look, Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best 5 to ever play all time.
So I would be interested
to see put a team together that won Super Bowl 50, but 2 straight losing seasons.
Dolphins. So obviously the Dolphins or the Chargers, they're dealing with some running back issues, just depth there because Justin Jackson has been ruled out. He was seen in a boot at practice, so there is still a chance we could see Melvin Gordon out there this weekend.
Luke Kuechly, one of the elite defenders in the league. 95 Myles Garrett, a freak athlete. Shaq Barrett.
Aaron Donald, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
All the accolades that he has. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack. Devin McCourty. Myles Garrett does it again. How about Shaq Barrett? It's Khalil Mack on the sack. And he's going to get muscled down. And Aaron Donald takes him down.
Bobby Wagner, most tackles in the league going back to 2014.
We've seen some great defensive performances so far this season. Through 3 weeks, Luke Kuechly and Jordan Hicks lead the NFL in tackles. No one has more sacks than Bucs linebacker Shaq Barrett. And the Patriots defense still has not allowed a touchdown yet. Devin McCourty is a big reason why his 3 picks are the most right now in the league. They have been killing it. So let's find out Who's on the Hook this week, presented by Bass Pro Shops. We have a number of teams and players that started the season slow. There's Josh out there trying to figure out who's on the hook. And Mike Robb.
Is there any water in there?
It doesn't sound like it. I don't know. This fish might be dead in that pond. So, who's on the hook this weekend? Who needs to turn things around?
I hate to say this. Former teammate of mine, Earl Thomas. And look, it's not necessarily Earl. That's the one in that Baltimore defense that's messing some things up in the back end. But to be ranked 23rd in the National Football League at giving up explosive plays, they